can see the best DJs in the world. Like, you'll be here for a month and you'll see 3 of your favourite DJs.
There's just like a certain freedom that exists in the city that I probably haven't encountered anywhere else.
It certainly had a ripple effect throughout the whole electronic music scene.
It felt like I was in something that didn't exist anywhere else in the world. I always had the plan to move to Europe. I'd heard good things about Berlin. Some friends had been coming here the last couple of years telling me about, it's this crazy city, you can do whatever you want, you can drink on the train, the clubs are open for 36 hours.
I was at Revolver dancing with 2 of my friends who had already bought their tickets to come to Berlin. In that moment, it just seemed like the right thing to do, and I was curious about Berlin already.
I first came here in 2009 and it was like October, which wasn't quite winter, but as far as I'm concerned, it certainly was cold enough. It wasn't until the following year that I came back in summer and had friends here and stayed for a month, had time to explore. That's kind of when I fell in love with it.
When I first came here in 2010, I was hearing minimal and techno in cafes at 10 a.m. and stuff like that. It felt like that was just the soundtrack.
Walk into this club and it's this 50-something-year-old man playing electro bangers, people going nuts and sweat dripping off the walls. And I'm like, okay, now I'm here.
Go to one spot and then leave and go to another spot and then come back to that spot the following day, still on the same stamp.
The biggest shock to me was being able to sleep in nightclubs. It was nice seeing these people who usually go home and just have a quick nap, wake up fresh and kick on for another 15 hours.
I was happy to get my first gig at Golden Gate. It's like a legendary, dirty after-hour club. Hey, Laios. Huh?
How you doing?
Good.
Let's go inside.
So this is Golden Gate. Welcome. And you can kind of play any genre that you want and they'll really soak it up. And that's why I love playing here, because it's small and you feel like you can connect with the audience really well.
Golden Gate, it was very rare that I would make plans to go to Golden Gate. You kind of just end up at Golden Gate.
This is the dance floor. I think it's covered in chewing gum from 10 years worth of people spitting out their gum and squishing it into the floor. We're going to test out the sound system of Golden Gate. When there's lots of people in there, it's pretty tough. You have to just kind of accept that you're in this dirty, full, sweaty club with the condensated sweat dripping in your drink and just let go. If you're an artist or a musician, you can come here and make your living just by working a couple of days a week.
Cheap studio space, cheap living.
It allows you to kind of spend your days making music rather than having to juggle 3 jobs and do it on the side.
Suddenly I was seeing people who were managing labels or managing artists or working for Beatport. One of the first times in my life where I've kind of looked at what other people are doing and be like, well, why can't I do that? What's up? So this is Lando.
Hello.
Antaeus, for those who know him
Antaeus
personally.
Lando Roy is the full name.
Yeah, what a name. So we run the label together, Myth Music. We sent the first release to the distributor, and other people have dubbed it future techno, which I find hilarious because the whole idea of techno is that it's meant to be futuristic. If you ask Jeff Mills the definition of techno, it's about the future. My favorite of the first one was Altered Maze. Yeah, and I heard someone else playing it and it happened to be one of my favorite DJs, and I didn't know if he got the promo, but suddenly I'm raving in the middle of Berghain and this track, I'm like, I've heard of it. I know this next one, what is it? I'm like, oh, this is from our label. Oh, this is Antaeus.
All of the locations in Berlin are really unique. They're all different from each other, and they're all in these crazy abandoned buildings.
When the wall came down, just having this disused space, people would move into an apartment building and be like, this is ours. You know, a lot of the club owners here, they come out of that. You know, they got their money from like holding on to these pieces of real estate.
There he is. There he is.
This is Marius. Hey, Mr. Krakow. We run a party together called White Tiles. We've been doing that for about 2.5 years.
I grew up in the city, not in the suburbs, but still I live in the center for about, I don't know, 10 years or so. And yeah, it's crazy how it changed. I mean, even this area we are about now is so, like, imagine this 5 years ago, there would be no one on the street, there wouldn't be any bar around or so. So he leaves you hanging there.
The government, they understand tourism draw, that it brings money in here, and I mean, particular clubs they get funding from the government.
I think it goes back to this crazy mayor as well. I don't know if he's still the mayor. He described Berlin as arm aber sexy, which means poor but sexy. If you have a mayor that has this approach to the city and is cool with that, then some fun stuff is gonna go down.
There's like, you know, the big ones, Berghain, Watergate, Tresor, Stadtbad. I was blown away the first time I went to Sisyphos.
Berghain, obviously.
The big B word, not Berlin, but Berghain.
Everyone's talking about Berghain constantly and we're all sick of it, but it is as good as it's hyped up to be.
About Blank, you kind of have this garden with like little tracks in the garden.
Played at Villa Renato a couple of times, which feels like a bit of a maze sometimes.
You want to spend half an hour looking for your friend because you meet other people, you see other things, you walk around, it's an adventure. Everybody likes going on adventures when they're partying.
All right, off to Bristol, playing there during the day, and then tomorrow night in Cardiff.
Gonna do the warm-up tonight at IPSA, so we're gonna play some warm-up stuff.
This is one of my faves. It's just a weapon that works daytime, nighttime, early, late.
Anything on Lobster Theremin, I love. Oh, and Palms tracks. I love Palms tracks at the moment, so I'll take that one.
This is one of the best artist names of all time, DJ Candle in the Wind.
Oh, this one I really love at the moment. Dude Energy on Animals Dancing. It's a crew from Melbourne.
You can really get a feel for the culture of a city by just going into a record store. Unless you get kicked out, which has happened to me before. In Berlin, actually, at a place called Franz und Josef. He asked me what I was doing in his record store, and I said I was just having a look. And then he said, oh, so you're not looking to buy anything then? And I said, no, I'm looking to buy something if something catches my eye. And he said, okay, please just leave. You are not here to buy some records. Your money is no good here. You obviously don't have any. So please stop wasting my time and please leave. And never come back. And I went back when he wasn't there and I bought a record to spite him. So shout out to Franz und Josef. Yeah, I'm gonna drop names.
All right, let's roll.
Dankeschön.
There's always new clubs popping up in Berlin and getting old ones getting closed down. Yeah, it's a really nice venue, like outside on the canal, in the trees, with a big chandelier over the dance floor that rotates.
Artists that move here making different stuff, and you can kind of see it. They adopt the Berlin sound a little bit. They make it a little bit dubbier or a little bit less colourful.
Okay, so this is Club Division Air over here on the river. It's quite famous for DJs, quite famous DJs doing extended sets, like Ricardo Villalobos, for example. It's like the first hot night of summer, and they're all open air venues, so they've all got big gardens, so everybody's out. Life is a bridge.
These are genres that rely on being very sonic, being very high end, having that atmosphere which can only properly be portrayed with a good sound system, which is rampant in Berlin.
And it will make a difference, but they won't know why. They'll just be like, that club was amazing, the music was really good, and the music might have been really good, or it might have just sounded really good because the sound system was so good.
There's a hairdryer company in Australia and they have a logo of this, a kangaroo and an emu drying their hands, and it's just so stupid, especially because an emu doesn't have hands. So I just did this part because otherwise it would look a bit too nationalistic and no one's got time for that. Over the course of me making music, I've always changed it up a few times, and for me that move was coming to Berlin and starting completely fresh.
Once you get past this first kind of honeymoon period of where it really feels like you're in the middle of something special, you really have to get past that and try and figure out, oh, how do I build a life here?
There's so many people coming to Berlin and like becoming the Berlin thing, so holding on to whatever it is that you had outside of that is paramount.
For me, I'm definitely not trying to be influenced too much by it all.
People lose themselves in a good way and a bad way, absolutely.
This one is losing it in Berghain. If I'm to make anything that I actually enjoy, then I have to do it when I feel like doing it, which is a very selfish thing, but this is what the city allows. It allows for selfishness. There you go.